there. You're welcome to another fantastic episode of Trends with Mo. It's great to have you join the show. I'm Veronica, but of course you know you can call me Mo. We have quite an interesting lineup of trends to discuss today. First off, formerly celebrated Super Cop DCP Abba Kyari has yet again become the talk of town for his involvement in a drug trafficking crime. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Monday, February 14, declared Kyari wanted in a press briefing after all attempts to bring him for questioning proved abortive. Later in the day, the NDLEA reported that the Nigerian police force drove Kyari and other 4 wanted officials to their custody for further investigations and questioning. Well, joining me to discuss this major headline is a public affairs analyst in person of Oluwaseun Solomon. Thank you so much for joining the show, Solomon.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start from this perspective. Now, reports have it that Abba Kyari's team of the intelligence response team, they intercepted these drugs from a trafficker. That's 25 kilograms worth of narcotics. 25 kilograms of narcotics. Now, the question is, why is the suspended DCP still involved in the activities of the intelligence response team? Because if he has been indeed suspended, why is he still being involved in the operations?
Well, as sad as the case and the issue of Abba Kyari is, let me first off start from it has been the most disappointing, if I must use that word. It has been really disappointing for a lot of people that look up to Abba Kyari as the super cop of the Nigerian police force. So I think a while ago there was the news that filtered around, that the suspension had been lifted one way or the other, but it was under the cards that, so that's why I feel he's probably still in the force and indirectly not in the public space for where people can really question the character of the kind of person that is back in the force.
But do you really think that should even be the case, that it should have been allowed in any way to be operating in the force?
Well, I guess for me, now this is my view. For me as a person, I feel it is wrong to have somebody of that caliber having a case hanging around his neck and still being seen, doing the normal doings of the force. It tells you how rotten a lot of things, how bad things are in the Nigerian police force.
Okay, now so some persons claim that this is not on social media, because there are a lot of perspectives on this issue on the social media. Some persons are claiming that this is scripted because they don't want him to be extradited to the United States. That's why they are trying to bring up this case of drugs into the scenario. So what do you think about this situation?
Well, if we have to go, I think people that are saying that they don't want him to be extradited, I think they are saying the truth by half. What I mean by that is that if you look at the context, if you look at the case of drug, is way more than what he's having. He's been labeled as an international cartel, that they have their units, their cells all over the world. So in this case now, you would have the DEA to be involved in the case. He's already, the FBI are already waiting for him. So if anybody is coming up and saying that this is a distraction, not so that he could be extradited, I think this is, I don't want to buy that perspective. I really don't want to buy it, because it puts him in a more sensitive place to be extradited. Because the Nigerian government, with the diplomacy and everything, the Nigerian government would not want to be seen as being shielding somebody that is labeled as a criminal. I think that's for me. I feel he would be extradited. I feel he would be.
Okay, but with the I want us to look at it from this perspective as well. In recent times, we have had a lot of people in public offices that have been that evidences, facts have proven them to be guilty. But at the end of the day, by the time they go to the Nigerian courts, at the end of the day, we realize that they are not guilty at the end of the day, and they are walking free. Many of these people even go back into public offices. Even after years, they come back again wanting to run for one office or the other. How are we so sure that this will not eventually be the case?
Well, sometimes the case of Abba Kyari specifically would not, I wouldn't want to go into, would not be seen as a case that we can't, have conversations about. But when we have cases of public office holders that are in court, there's a little we can say, because the cases are facts were presented before the court of jurisdiction. So there are little we can say, so that it won't be coming out, it won't be as if we are preempting the judgment or whatever it is. Yes. So, but the case of Abba Kyari, for me, I think it's a clear court case. It's not in the Nigerian court. He was fingered by a Nigerian that is outside the country. So he's been needed outside the country in the first place to come and answer a certain question. Now he's finding himself in such a mess whereby the NDLEA are saying that, he has the cartel all over the universe, all over the world. So I think it's more of a case whereby we can push him out and say, okay, go and answer to this case.
Some reports have it that the NDLEA, some anonymous sources in the NDLEA are saying that some superior officers are also involved in this case, and they were dragging the case such that which forced the NDLEA to go through the press briefing, which on a normal day, because some people have been saying on the internet, why did they have to go public? If they could have just asked this guy to be arrested, why did they have to go public? So some reports are saying that it's because there are other higher office holders that are also involved in this case. So what's your take on this?
Well, if you look at the magnitude of the case, there's no way, give or take, that people in the higher offices, I wouldn't be surprised if we have certain politicians, people in high spaces, being involved in this kind of case, because it is not something you can just walk out there and do. You get what I'm trying to say? So I wouldn't be surprised if there are people of higher senior officers, senior men, in the country that are involved. I wouldn't be surprised.
Considering the fact that they said 1 kg of cocaine goes for about 7 million naira.
Yeah, you understand, and we're talking about 25. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
So what does this say about the Nigerian police force, the entire Nigerian police force?
Well, I think with what we are saying now, it clearly just shows that there is a deep rot in the Nigerian police force. Pardon me, it's really disappointing to have, a very respected, a high place ranking police officer, involved in this kind of a mess. It's somebody a lot of people look up to. Really, if you look at it, he just happened to make the entire police force look like a place where, people of bad characters are being, groomed and put together. Pardon me if I use that word, because it's really disheartening to have, our men, come out with all this, considering the fact that we are just even coming from the NSAS issue. So really, it's heart-wrenching. It's it's very saddening. Yes.
Then let's wrap up with this perspective now. There's been somewhat, now the NDLEA have said, okay, Abba Kyari is involved in this kind of case, and then the Nigerian police force are also saying that, okay, some drug barons that have been arrested, they claim that there are some NDLEA officials that are on those drug barons, what's they call it, like they're on their payroll. So what do you have to say? Is this like interagency politics, or they are actually giving information? Because if they are actually trying to aid themselves, as it's supposed to be, like in agencies giving each other information to make the job easier, then why do they have to go public about it?
For a fact, I'm going to have to, let our viewers know this, that this scenario does not play out only in Nigeria.
Okay.
It plays out all over the world. You know, you have, you know, interagency disputes and all of that. So, but as the case of Nigeria may be, if you look at in the past few years, you will discover that there's this, you know, non-synergy between our military personnel, the armed forces, the Nigerian police. There's little synergy. That's why we keep having, you know, security issues and all of that. I believe that would be, you know, a conversation for another day. So that is why the NDLA will come out with this, and this. And as a matter of fact, you know, going by their, you know, the ethics and the job and the body itself, I believe the NDLEA must have gone through all the due processes before, you know, making it public. You know, they would have tried all the backdoor channels and all of that before making it public. And the police now coming back, on the other hand, to now release a press statement saying, yeah, it was that. I feel it's only trying to, you know, cover up whatever it is that is in between them, because they are security agencies. They are supposed to be working hand in hand. You know, the synergy is not there. Lately, we have been seeing, you know, the armed forces. You can look at the Navy, the Air Force, and the Nigerian Army. You can see the synergy that has been playing out with these people. We are yet to see that, you know, in other agencies, other security agencies.
All right. Well, thank you so much for those wonderful perspectives. It's been very interesting having this discussion with you. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining the show. We are not done yet. We'll just go for this quick break. We'll still have more for you. See you in a bit. Welcome back, and thank you for joining in. So let's get to the rest of the show. Now, the former Lagos State Governor and APC national leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also been on the trends lately. A video has been circulating on social media where he met with royal fathers of the Yoruba land in his bid to run for presidency in 2023. A part of the video, as you can see on your screen right now, has gotten the internet agog ever since. While still here in the studio is public affairs analyst Oluwaseun Solomon. Yes, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know you are a big fan of APC, but let me ask you, what's your take on all of this?
Yeah, well, to correct that notion, first off, using the word a big fan of the APC, I think that would probably be taken a little bit too far, because not that, you know, I don't like a few, you know, elements in the party. I'm not a party member. I'm not a card-carrying member of the party, But to be honest and to be fair, in all fairness, you know, I like to be very, very objective in my dealings and in way I shape in my thoughts to the public. Now, going back to the question you asked, I'm going to, you know, try to open my mind to it, because I saw the video and I looked at it and I took my time, you know, to study whatever it is that might have happened in that video. And I'm going to be coming out with, you know, two perspectives. Okay. First off, what is out there is the negative. People are out there, you know, saying he probably, you know, urinated, you know, in his panties and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But I'm coming from the angle as well. And considering that fact, any people, many of their age, they usually come with one ailment or the other. So, having said that, I'll look at it from that perspective. But this is another perspective. Did anybody ask he has been there all day? We have a lot of people in that room. And he's sitting on the leather chair, for crying out loud. So he might have had, you know, he might have been sweaty and, you know, have it all over himself. So these are things we should all look at. Not because, yes, a lot of people might not like the fact that he wants to be the president, but that is his fundamental right. you can as well, you are qualified, I'm qualified, many of our viewers are qualified. So if you feel you are qualified to run and have the capacity to run for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so I feel we should be kind enough to allow the man. If he wants to run, yes. That is why you and I should, everybody get your PVC. If we don't want him, we send him back at the poll. That's
but well, there's another video circulating on social media where his protocol men are taking him to a kind of corner and he's trying to, I don't know, we don't really know what he's trying to do, but maybe trying to lift up his attire, and they're telling the person holding the camera to turn off the camera, So what do you have to say about this?
I feel, the video you're talking about, he was wearing a blue regalia.
Yes.
He was actually walking in. I saw the video. I took my time to study the video. Yes. He was walking in. And the moment he walked in, he had already greeted somebody. So when after greeting that person, he appears to have felt some kind of dizziness, So his protocol, the best thing the protocol could do at that point in time is to try to shield guide him and make him, because he is a public figure, because he is somebody that is aspiring to be the #1 citizen of Nigeria, people would misinterpret whatever it is that is happening at that point in time. You understand? So normally we usually do have overzealous protocol men. We usually have overzealous security people. I see no reason anybody can get dizzy. There was a time, I think a very long time ago, one of our senators in the House of Assembly, I think, was giving a speech and he slumped. So we are all humans. We could fall ill at any point in time. So I don't think these are enough grounds to start saying that he should not become president. He can do whatever he wants within his own capacity, but that is why we have us as the voters. If we feel he's not enough, that was how we sent Jonathan packing.
But don't you think that if his health condition is not like on the 100%, don't you think it would tell on him being the president? Let's say he does become the president. Don't you think his health condition would tell?
Can I ask you a question? Like, maybe I should just, let's be the interviewer now.
Okay,
pardon me. So, do we have anybody that does not in any way have a health complication, one way or the other?
Well, a lot of people do.
So why would you have to focus on one person?
But the situation of being the president of the country is a lot of load to bear.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to advocate
I do
for
understand.
him now. I'm just, I like to have, different views about situations. Let's have a different view. The question we should be asking is, does he have the capacity? Does he have the intellectual, sagacity to bring Nigeria together? Can he push us forward economically in terms of security? Can he push us in terms of, how to grow our GDP, our foreign exchange? Can he grow us? How do we bring our refineries back to work? These are critical questions we should be asking. As a matter of fact, a one-time president, I don't know, I can't remember the country now, was running the country on a sick bed, and everything went on fine.
But will this not bring us to the people look at the situation, and will it not bring us to the same case of Yaradua?
Well, that only God can decide that.
Okay.
It's not in our place to decide that. That's all I would say about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for those interesting perspectives. Anyway, it's been very, very, very interesting conversation with you, and I hope that we have this sometime soon.
I'm always at your doorstep. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. My name once again is Morenike. I hope you did enjoy the show as much as I did. Well, see you same time next week on the show Trends with Mo. All right then, bye for now.